Yo, what up? This is D Knight, and you're listening to the Pardon the Interaction podcast. My oh my, we've had so much going on. For starters, in case you missed it, we've got a new addition to the Pardon Pie family, Tara Dublin. Make sure you go follow her on Twitter at Tara Dublin Rocks. Also, pick up a copy of her book while you're at it. Make her day, The Sound of Settling. A very fun and interesting read compared to the things we talk about on this podcast. But yeah, we're heading toward the do or die time for the 2024 election. Go ahead and hit up JoeBiden.com. Get that man like $1 a month or something. Help his campaign staff up and get prepared to try and save our democracy. And make sure to grab like one other person you know and tell them about the podcast. Make sure they subscribe and tune in every single week. We got a lot of things coming up for you this year. We need all the support that we can get. So if you do your part and help us grow our audience, we'll do our part and help elect Joe Biden in 2024 and save American democracy. And this is the Pardon the Interaction podcast.
My friend's cat used to do that years ago. It's like Shadow knew that I was allergic because she would lay on my chest and rub her tail on my face.
Whoa.
While I was sleeping.
What kind of fucked up shit is that?
And I get ugly, like I break out in ringworms.
Whoa.
Welts all over my face.
That's terrible.
One eye swollen and closed. I look like a cross between Sarah Sanders and Quasimodo.
Hey, that's fucked up. It does. Sarah Sanders does look like one side of her face.
That was a low blow.
No, but like one side of her face does look like it's melting slowly. So, I mean.
Well, that's the hate. That's
factual.
Trying to claw its way out.
Right. That's not disparaging her looks because she's a woman. That's just an accurate description of
a hateful person.
Of her soul destroying her face. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Indeed.
Carol, you're a lawyer. How bad would you have to be at your job to get sanctioned for $1 million?
I could get my degree online from Concordia and do a better job.
Carol, words. Use your words.
I shrugged.
No one can see you.
You couldn't see me shrugging, I guess. You people out there.
I couldn't see because I was reading the.
I didn't mean you, Ty. You should have been able to see.
Okay,
that.
You go to work every day. You do your job. Like, imagine, like, what would your boss say to
Sanctioned?
you if your performance was so bad in court that you were sanctioned for $1 million?
I don't think I would still be employed because I assume that that mistake would be related to my job.
Yeah, like your performance, it's almost like a review. Your review is negative $1 million. So I can't imagine that.
That's way worse. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine getting sanctions like that. No, you really have to.
That's a lot of fucking scratch. I mean, that's almost as much as the Trump organization was fined.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Financial manipulation and stealing $250 million from the state with their shenanigans. And that was literally $600,000 less than that.
Have they been sanctioning the other shitty lawyers in his group? Did they No,
they dropped their suits because they didn't want to get sanctioned too. So.
I think they've all been.
But what about like Giuliani? He wasn't sanctioned. Jenna Ellis wasn't. Like none of those people were sanctioned who brought those frivolous cases. Like
I think they knew that Giuliani didn't have money.
Doesn't mean you don't sanction them.
And I think Giuliani's probably going to get disbarred, so there is that. But
he's still alive.
He's been awfully quiet here lately, huh?
He's been awfully quiet.
Well, I think because of what's going on in Georgia, he's shutting the fuck up finally.
Shutting the fuck up and shutting down.
Yep, indictments are coming. But yeah, I mean, just that's what I'm saying. Look how bad his lawyers are. Haba got sanctioned for $1 million and she still has a fucking job. Like, indict the guy. Like, they can't mount a real legal. They're fucking terrible at the job.
The amount of stuff that I read that has her attorney, her law firm's name on it. And I'm like, this bitch is still employed.
I don't understand.
Not only is she probably not getting paid, but now this bitch gotta pay. Like she's gotta pay the court.
Man, it's so bad.
This is nuts. Like this whole.
All right. Well, with this final topic, when I get to it, you're gonna be like, well, damn. Like, are Trump's lawyers representing Mike Pence because he apparently doesn't know which branch of government the vice president is part of? So Mike Pence is preparing to fight a grand jury subpoena from Special Counsel Jack Smith's 1/6 investigation for testimony about former President Donald Trump's push to overturn the 2020 election. According to two people familiar with the former president, damn, I can't, he's not the former president and he'll never be president, the former vice president's thinking. Pence has decided to challenge Special Counsel Jack Smith's request, foregoing a claim to executive privilege. Shout out to everyone who devoted like an hour-long podcast to Mike Pence's potential claim of executive privilege. He fucked you there, because guess what he's doing? He's instead set to argue that his former role as president of the Senate, therefore a member of the legislative branch, shields him from certain Justice Department demands. Has anyone informed him that, like, I don't know, being president of the Senate doesn't make you a fucking senator, you dipshit? Sorry, I wasn't yelling at you too. Pence allies say he is covered by the constitutional provision that protects congressional officials from legal proceedings related to their work, commonly known as the speech or debate clause. The clause, Pence allies say, legally binds federal prosecutors from compelling Pence to testify about the central components of Smith's investigation. If Pence testifies, they say it could jeopardize the separation of powers that the Constitution seeks to safeguard.
Yeah.
And I apparently wrote a typo in here and put protects the, separation of powers that the Constitution seeks to safeguard. I don't know what was going on, but there, like, happy Valentine's to anyone out there who needed a safe word, I guess.
They just keep moving the goalposts. Like, they just keep moving the goalposts.
Man, what you said.
Over here.
I mean, this is the dude that was like, oh, I refuse to testify to the January 6th committee about my role in 1/6 because it's a separation of powers issue, and he doesn't think Congress should be infringing on the rights of the vice president's role in the executive branch. And then Special Counsel Jack Smith shows up, and he's like, oh, wait, well, now I'm a member of the fucking Congress, and the executive branch shouldn't be infringing. Who the fuck comes up with this shit? Whose idea was this? Like, obviously this thing is set to fail. Well, first of all, the executive privilege argument was set to fail, as a number of people have set to claim executive privilege in an attempt to avoid testifying to the grand jury, and that's been. I guess that's been dealt the death nail by Judge Howell. Executive privilege claims not getting these people far. So he was like, well, damn, that's not going to work. I guess I got to come up with some new shit. He smoked a bowl or whatever Aaron Rodgers was on when he's going into his 4 days of darkness before he decides what he's going to do in free agency. I don't know. And came up with this wild shit. Like, Carol.
Maybe he prayed on it. Maybe Republican Jesus told him.
I just need like a basics. I don't know. I just need someone to give this guy a fucking basic civics class. Like, here, what branch of the government does the vice president reside in?
In the executive.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I ain't fucking crazy.
And saying that he's the president of the Senate involves that he is a separate executive position within the, like, just being there at the Senate. It's executive. It says the word president that's the word. Hello, Chrissy.
That's it. He just wanted to say that he was president of something. This is the only time.
The only way he'll ever be president is president of the Senate.
President of the Senate. Now his presidential dreams began and ended there. But he hasn't done near the work that Kamala Harris has, because she's had to do more tie-breaking votes.
Yeah, than anyone ever.
Than any other vice president.
I mean, I get that he doesn't want, he's running for president. Of course he's not going to win, but like, he doesn't want to testify against Trump, and he'll do anything to try and run out the clock on the investigation in an attempt to, I don't know, not harm his political chances. But my God, man, you got to come up with some, like, Lindsey Graham. Well, yeah. Lindsey Graham is an actual fucking senator, and he tried to argue the speech and debate clause protects him from having to testify in Fani Willis's investigation in Georgia Georgia, and that failed. This motherfucker ain't even a member of Congress, and oh my God.
I figure his next claim is going to be spousal privilege. Because then whatever Trump told him in their marriage, he can't disclose legally. He's grasping at all the straws.
Well, I don't think his mother would let him marry a man, so that's probably out of the window.
I don't know. She's been married before. So that tells me there's some things I need to know. I need to know more about Mother because she's divorced.
Just the clusterfuckery.
I find that
clusterfuckery with
as religious as they are, I would have thought she would have thugged it out, and not what they're supposed to do. Because they kind of I thought they frowned on that stuff.
What does she look like again?
What she looks like? She looks like she would be a Mrs. Robinson. I can see her doing some real freaky shit. I think that's how she got him. I can. I saw her the minute I knew who was the cuck in that relationship. When I saw them together, she's very polished, and she looks like she's kind of manipulative, and she probably does that part in the bedroom.
I'm sure just by looking at the way Mike Pence kicks it, like she straps it up in the bedroom.
He's definitely being pegged or something. Definitely.
And no judgment, like to each his or her own.
Reckless speculation.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Allegedly.
Oh, that's their disclaimer. Thank you, Carol. My legal advisor. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm better at contractual
Way better
stuff.
than Baba.
Hey, we're almost to 50 episodes and we're still lawsuit free podcast. We've yet to be sued. Let's keep the streak going. Allegedly taking it in the yeah, and look, I just want to let everyone out there listening know that I handpicked the topics for this week, and there was so much more clusterfuckery that I left out. Like, this is just a taste of what it's like every single week, scrolling through the news headlines, producing the podcast.
Today was...
I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it.
We're all
one of those. Yeah. I mean, look, it's a wild roller coaster every single week on Pardon the Insurrection and across the United States. Hang in there, guys. We're going to help you get through it. I promise, even though I'm not entirely certain we're going to get through it ourselves. All right, kids, do you have a Shithole of the Week award?
Well, I already told you. Mine is fucking DeSantis. He's wanting to do away with the whole AP program period. And now he's saying that they don't need to take the SAT. Like, he is just the fucking worst. He is the worst. I would like to take one of those kinky white boots of his and put it square up his ass.
You're going to take Karen Pence's strap on and put it up his ass?
No, I'm not getting that close skin to skin. But
you don't know how long that thing is. You might not even have to get that close. Carol, do you have any closing thoughts?
Well, I had my Shithole of the Week.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carol.
Too.
Do you have a Shithole of the Week award?
Yes, it's the same incel with an assault rifle who keeps shooting places up. And I'm saying it's the same guy because, I don't know if they want notoriety or what their fucking goal is, but I hope people thinking about it just consider that you're not having notoriety, you're not unique, you're just another asshole. Now it's just a fucking typical thing, and you're still nothing.
I mean, what is the world coming to when we've gotten bored with mass shootings? We're like, oh, you're just another mass shooter.
I'm not bored. I'm just want to make sure they know that this doesn't make them special or cool. If anything, now they're just a typical. Don't go looking for cooler, better ways to kill people. Just don't fucking kill. Be the true anomaly, which is a great, wonderful, upbeat person in this world. And I guess I tied in my closing thoughts to my Shithole of the Week. Are we gonna vote?
Right, way to put a positive twist on it. Yeah, my Shithole of the Week candidate is Mike DeWine, governor of Ohio. People are trying to blame Biden for this derailed train and the chemical spill and all that shit, not realizing that DeWine basically has prevented Biden's administration from trying to clean up the mess. And then he had the nerve to like just go set the shit on fire. I mean, I get the, it's flammable chemicals and, risking a potential explosion. But bro, you don't even know what else was on the fucking train. You're like, yeah, let's just set fire to the shit. And it send it up into the atmosphere. And it's like killing people's fucking animals and killing plants. Jesus Christ, man. What the fuck are you doing? Like, declare the shit a fucking federal emergency so Biden can step in and get this. This is a disaster. Oh my
Well,
God.
you know, it would be easier and more effective than that. Just saying it's Biden's fault.
Well, Biden got on the phone with him and like literally offered him anything he needed, Biden would do. And DeWine was like, nah, I'm good, bro.
No, I'm just going to go out, roast some marshmallows with toxic chemicals.
Right. You don't even have to set fire to the shit. You just wait till it rains and the rain like cooks the fucking marshmallow.
Yeah. And sliding down in the basin, they said it's like 25 million people that it could, affect.
You know what? I don't know who the winner was this week. We'll give it to DeWine DeSantis Incel. You won. Congratulations.
Three-way tie.
Three-way tie. Yep, for the shithole of the week. All right, Ty, do you have any closing thoughts this evening?
Hold on. Okay. We need to do better. Period. Just all the way around. After the MSU shooting, and here's I was wearing my Steve Spartan sweater. I stole it from him because Steve graduated from Michigan State.
Damn.
And he heard about
Why is the world so fucking small, Ty?
He hadn't heard about the shooting. And he's like, oh my God, baby. And he was like, no, what? But listening to and watching the video that went viral of Jackie Matthews, her name, the Michigan State student who also is a survivor of Sandy Hook, it just tore me up. This is what we're doing to our children. And Emily Riddle was another student. And just 14 months ago, there was a shooting at Oxford High School in Michigan where Emily Riddle was a student. And now she's at Michigan State. And this happens. That kind of fear, PTSD, and anxiety. And it's just incredibly disgusting at how people on the right just completely dismiss what these kids are going through. And not just them, but every student that has, over the last 20 years, been, a victim or survivor, their families, of a mass shooting at a school. Every single time another one happens, it's got to be like reliving the trauma because exactly what those kids are going through, and to see people who are supposed to be representing you in your best interests just completely dismissing, what you're saying and how you're feeling and what you're going through and what you will be going through for the rest of your life. It's just so incredibly gross. And, I think that's a part of the reason why they want to keep young people from voting, because young people are aware and they know what's going on. They've lived through this and they want change. They're angry. And then we're letting the same people make decisions that are, just for them, the Boberts and the Greens and these fucking old ass white men and these legislatures.
I mean, full disclosure. So Ty, you live in El Paso. Damn, there was just a shooting at the mall down the street from where you live. Well, I mean, I guess on the other side of town.
And I'm in that area. Landry's is right there at the mall. It's in the front. Steve and I go there often, and Dave and Buster's, the only one in town where I like to take the boys. Sometimes it's right. It's all right there. Everything is primarily on the east side and in that area where Cielo Vista Mall is. I used to live like behind the mall, like 5 minutes away from there years ago. But it's like, what the fuck? It's like to be looking over your shoulder. Like, what if somebody decides to go on the Dave and Buster's and do that? Or what if somebody decides to go? Because literally nowhere's safe. Churches aren't safe. Work isn't safe. Going and buying groceries isn't safe. There is a monument at the Walmart, Cielo Vista Walmart.
Right next to the damn mall. Right
next to the mall that was erected, honoring the 23 victims who were killed. And that's not even counting the ones who were injured and probably will, never be the same.
Mass shootings are so out of control that we're having mass shootings right next to the place that had a mass shooting.
Right next to the place that had, and what are we just going to have a row of monuments? So, everywhere you go, it's going to be a monument erected to victims. Like, this is the world that this is the country that we're living in right now.
It's funny you've made a Freudian slip and said world when we're literally the only developed country in the world who has this fucking problem.
Exactly.
Like literally the only developed country in the world who's dealing with this rate of mass shootings. We're like 5, 10, 12x more than like number 2. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it is. No, you're exactly right. It's insane. And this is coming literally after what went on in Michigan. And somebody was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Like, what frame of mind, what thought process? And because the guy is still on the loose. So, I mean, that's incredibly frightening because we don't know what the motive is. We don't know if this guy's planning more or if it even is a guy. I'm just using that as a placeholder, I guess. But
I mean, we can only assume almost all mass shootings are instigated by men. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's a fair assumption.
Know, if he's got more plans or whatever else, a lot of these other shootings, they were eventually caught up to, and there were so many cops outside of the mall,
Way to lighten the mood, Ty.
Sorry. Sorry. This is what...
I just feel bad. I mean, it's like this happened right down the street from you, practically. It's like some depressing shit to think, hey, my co-host could have been at the mall and caught a bullet just going about, your day-to-day life. What kind of fucking shit is this? Like, I don't want to live in a world like this.
Olivia Troy had tweeted today. I didn't know that she's from El Paso. And her aunt was at the mall. And a stranger pulled her aunt to safety, she tweeted. And her aunt was also at Walmart when the shooting happened at Walmart. Ugh. And a stranger saved her. That is so incredibly heavy. I can't even imagine how her Tia must feel. Like, I wouldn't want to go anywhere,
I mean, it's crazy. Like, no one should have to be subject to a mass shooting, but having been subject to 2, like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. And that she's not alone in having had experienced that. And it's like, you can think like, wow, you get lucky the first time, or you're grateful and everything. And you're finally trying to have some semblance of normalcy back in your life years later. And you finally see some justice because Crucius pled guilty. And you know what it's crazy too, is that ever since the shooting, every single Walmart in the city has a security guard and a law enforcement officer. Sometimes it's sheriff, sometimes it's El Paso PD at the entrance of Walmarts when you go in. And the wall was right there. So, and I'm sure this person knew that there were cops right there. Like, this had to have been planned out. If they slipped away, they had to have Definitely this is calculated. It absolutely is. You know,
I don't know how to fix the problem, man. I'm sorry. I'm just a dude with the podcast. I don't know. I mean, clearly the ultimate solution is to pass legislation to get some of these guns off the streets, but like we clearly don't have the political power to do that because a handful of Republicans refuse. Yeah. I mean, they're on the payroll of these gun companies, the NRA, and if they did decide that they somehow might even have the slightest intention of passing some common sense gun legislation, like they'd get primaried and they'd lose their job, and then we still wouldn't get the legislation passed, and then we'd have some even more insane fucker in Congress to just exacerbate the problem. I don't know what the solution is, people. You get it the fuck to, I mean, I know that if you're listening to this, clearly you're not going to argue with me about what the solution is, but these other people, I mean, they need to get it the fuck together. I don't know. I'm so tired. We're all tired.
We're all tired, man. Like, I don't know. I kind of wish that asteroid had stopped, but even they didn't want fuck to do with us. Fucking asteroid.
All right, well, maybe we can count on the fucking aliens to end it all. All right, Carol, do you have any closing thoughts? I'm sorry, that was a real downer.
Yeah, well, and I'll just tell you, I've been just thinking about what weed to buy and looking at pictures of weed and reading descriptions of weed. And my closing thought is I like weed.
Nice.
And everyone should go smoke some.
You know what? I think, oh shit, the dispensary's closed now.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Carol. We depress you so badly that all you can think about is weed now.
I won't be getting any weed. And all of my edibles are gone. Damn it.
Hey, whatever you got to do to cope, I totally understand. Like, shit is tough.
In a drug or something.
Yeah, I don't even know how I'm going to do my closing thoughts now because it's totally not serious. And we just, you know, this is one of the things that happens when I'm watching the news. I'm like, well, damn, how did they go from that mass shooting to like cat videos? And we're going to do it on the podcast now. I'm going to get firsthand experience. So
how the hell do you have over 5,000? It's probably even more now on Spoutable.
Who? What happened?
You had like almost 6,000 followers.
No, I got more than that.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm closer. What? I think I'm closer. And this is the thing where we transition from the mass shooting to talk about social media. Ha ha ha. This is how the mainstream media does it. But at least I'm self-aware and pointing it out. So I got like, let's see here. Close to, is it 9? No, I have 9,478 followers on the Spoutable so far. Yeah.
I mean, I'm creeping up. I'm almost at 1,000.
The people loves me. I'm a man of the people. They love your boy. Like they show their support.
Now, Musk is.
Oh no, we're not talking about Twitter no more. It's a wrap. But yeah, if you do want to follow me on Spoutable and you're not already, it's at D Knight. Pretty simple. DKNIGHT. And to everyone who is following me, I appreciate it. I'm trying to get back to y'all. It's like a full-time job trying to follow you all back because you fuckers like just harassed me and hunted me down on the Spoutable. I followed back 7,000 of you. I can't tell you how long that took and how incredibly fucking arduous it was, but I love y'all. I appreciate the support. I mean, if following you back is like, you know, satisfactory.
I'm at Cool Texas Chick.
Yeah. What are your handles on the Spoutable for the record?
I'm still Carol Edwina.
Spell that for people.
Carol CAROL EDWINE.
And you, Ty?
I'm at Cool Texas Chick on Spoutable, at Cool Texas Chick on Tribal, at Cool Texas Chick on Post.
Yeah, well, that's Texas as in TX.
Yes, TX, and at Cool Texas Chick at mastodon.sdf.org.
Sweet. All right. Well, I'll roll into my sports ball minute of the week, and that will feed into my closing thoughts.
Sorry, just checking my lottery tickets. Let's see.
Well, I hope you won. Because
Oh,
pardon the insurrection can't pay you what you're worth. So the least you deserve is to win the fucking lottery.
well, I got $1 already.
That's a good start. All right. So if you watched the Super Bowl this previous weekend, which was a great game, by the way, well, I don't know how many of you are sports fans. Again, like I don't know who this segment is for. It's probably just me indulging my addiction to the sports ball. Carol, I know where your interests lie. You can go ahead and close the computer. You can tap out, go find your weed.
I like weed.
But yeah, the Super Bowl is an iconic performance by both the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City football team, with Kansas City winning at the end with a field goal to go up 35-38. But before that, it was a controversial play where one James Bradbury, cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles, grabbed a Juju Smith-Schuster wide receiver for the Kansas City team in a play that basically sealed the game for the Chiefs. And is a controversial call in the sense that, well, first of all, after the holding, the referees threw the flag, called it a penalty, which put Kansas City in a position with 4 downs to score with less than 2 minutes on the clock, basically sealing the game for Kansas City. It's a controversial call because a number of people feel like in that particular moment with those stakes on the line, you don't make that call. You just let them play. But I would say the way I would look at it is in a situation like that, with the stakes so high, don't get beat. Don't grab the guy. And then the referees won't have to throw the flag. Because if you clearly look at the play, Juju had the guy beat, and it was a free pass to the end zone. And Patrick Mahomes, quarterback for Kansas City, saw that, tossed the ball his direction because he knew it was either a touchdown or a penalty. So the refs did what they had to do. And people are quite outraged about that, especially a lot of Philadelphia fans. If you're listening to this and you're a Philadelphia fan, I'm sorry. But what I would say is, like, if you think about it, the idea that you're about to lose and you're going to resort to cheating, like, the referee shouldn't reward that behavior. And I'm willing to give you a parallel here because what it reminds me of is fucking Republicans, right? If it is a similar situation with the 2020 election where Trump's lost, he is beat. And instead of accepting his loss graciously, what did he decide to do? Decided to try and cheat and steal victory for himself. And I can't imagine any scenario where anyone who's listening to this podcast thinks that we should be rewarding people for bad behavior when they've lost and resort to cheating to try and steal a victory. I mean, if that's not the way you feel, this probably ain't the podcast for you. I'm just saying, like, man, we gotta stop, like, play by the fucking rules. And if you get caught, at least in this case, Bradbury admitted after the fact that, yeah, it was a holding. And I knew the situation. And I knew people's expectations of the refs would be, hey, you can't throw that flag there. But, you know, the refs didn't fall for it. They threw the flag there. Kansas City won, got the dub. And that plays into my closing thoughts here. With let's not get distracted with the bullshit. Right, with the Super Bowl, had a great game, almost get overshadowed by something, you know, as dumb as sports are, something that's far more important than, like, whether or not the referee should throw a flag on a holding call. What we got to witness Sunday was greatness, and I want to say, like, you know, applaud the Eagles for the performance they put up in the Super Bowl, but beyond that, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, man, we are getting the opportunity to watch the football version of Michael Jordan in real time. Some of you are probably not old enough to remember, but when I was younger, you'll never believe this. No, Michael Jordan had haters. People were like, Michael Jordan's not even that good. Oh, he's a ball hog. All he does is score. He'll never win. He doesn't have any rings. Like, what is he doing? The Bulls will never get a victory. They can't even beat the Pistons. They'll never beat these great teams like Jordan, blah, blah, blah. Like, you can look it up. You can look it up. I promise you, like, I'm not making this up. This is a real thing. And they did it not only before he won, but even after he won his first couple rings. People don't appreciate the good things, the incredible things that are being done right in front of them in the moment. Like, we got the opportunity to witness LeBron James's career. Recently passed Kareem is the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. Good to watch Patrick Mahomes accumulate rings in the NFL. I mean, instead of criticizing people or getting caught up with like this dumb stuff, just appreciate that you're getting to witness greatness as it unfolds in front of you. And like, we're listening to the Part of the Insurrection podcast. Like, well, how the fuck did this fucking greatness turn out? This Patrick Mahomes thing turn? One of the things we're getting to witness in real time is the greatness of the Biden administration, right? Like, it's very ironic that President Biden has, at this point, isn't in his presidency, one of the lowest approval ratings of a president, at this point. It doesn't make any sense, because if you look at Biden's accomplishments, which we listed off a number of them during the last episode of this podcast, you'd be like, God damn, look at everything he's got done. And I got to tell you, kids, I cut the list short. Otherwise, we'd be here for a whole nother 4 episodes just listing off fucking wins from President Biden. We're watching the Michael Jordan of presidents do his thing in real time, and he's not getting the appreciation he deserves. Man, I just need people to wake up, stop complaining about all the things that aren't getting done, and take a second to appreciate all the fucking fantastic work that this man is doing. Like, I'm not saying he's the greatest president in the history of the United States. He might not even be the greatest president of our times. I mean, I personally believe that award goes to Obama, given the fucking degree of difficulty getting to the presidency in the first place, and then the job he did with all the distractions and all the sabotage from the Republican Party. Yeah, he probably had a few more obstacles still with President Biden, but the way Biden is racking up wins, I mean, it's like Patrick Mahomes level. Like, a couple years in, and he's basically got 2 rings and a bunch of championship appearances already, man. Just give this man some credit. Take a second, acknowledge what he's done. Go out, spread the word. Like, obviously, the media isn't going to give him the credit he deserves, so someone has to. And like, if it's not going to be them, it'll at least be part of the insurrection. And that concludes this episode of the podcast.